What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
And we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
For a lot of the Mascogos, they do not look to the United States as a place where they were enslaved, but as a place where they were able to escape as free people, a place they can now freely choose to return to. It is a narrative of resilience and strength.
This quote was taken from Rocio Hill, who has been studying a group called the Mascogos as part of her career. But before we get into this message, we must figure out who the Mascogos are and the importance they hold in history. The Mascogos, or first known as the Black Seminoles, were a group of escaped African American slaves that moved their way to Florida, looking for more freedom, and were then taken in by a Native American tribe. The Native Seminoles and Black Seminoles then remained, creating this symbolic relationship with each other. And even though the Black Seminoles were still considered slaves to the natives, they didn't practice racial European slavery, which gave the Black Seminoles a significant amount of freedom. But around 1821, America then took control of Florida, which resulted in the Indian Removal Act, better known as the Trail of Tears, that happened 9 years later. Hence, it pushed them to move to Mexico in order to be fully free of...
This is like long walks. This is long walks. I remember we watched a video with our kids and how they had to move like that. Of course, they wasn't treated as they were by the European when it came to slavery, but they still was in, bondage. And they still had to take long walks.
Yeah,
bro.
Trail of Tears.
Yo, that's
Any weather too. But I'm interested in learning about the Mascogos. I've heard of them before, but I'm interested in learning like how they got there, because that's water.
That's water, right? Florida, like all the way to Mexico.
In the Gulf of Mexico.
Whew, that's what I'm saying. Like that's crazy.
slavery. During their time in Mexico, the Black Seminoles then inherited a new name for themselves, Mascogos. Yet, after settling for some time, they realized a way to earn a living was working for the Mexican government and their military. They worked defending the Mexican border against...
And these are also, this group was also involved in the Gullah Wars.
Sound familiar? Yeah. A lot of them...
So they had some experience.
A lot of them also escaped during times like that, because whenever there was war happening, they would go and initiate themselves and say, hey, I want to fight for y'all so I can get my freedom.
Yeah, so, the Civil War.
Native American raids. In return, the Mexican government gave them land to settle in. In 1873, they were rushed into U.S. territory and used alongside the U.S. in defending the country from more Indians that America wanted under their control. In order to keep the Mascogos fighting, America promised them citizenship and land. None of this happened. In the several years that the Mascogos fought in the military for the United States, they returned back to Mexico with no benefits from which they fought for. From the 19th century to the 20th century modern times, Mascogos have since remained in Mexico. Their life, however, is anything but simple. Even though they are settled on land and have freedom, they still struggle with providing for themselves. Hundreds of Mascogos now cross the border to receive temporary working visas. Thousands having to do this work illegally, even though the Mascogos have a past with America and have endured years of slavery with them. They know that this is the only means they have, knowing that their home will forever be Mexico, even if they have to travel far from living. As quoted from Rocio Hill, it's a narrative of resilience and strength. Mascogos still hold on to their own power and through countless years of mistreatment and still years of struggle, they still are strong in what they must do. Their history is one of importance. Their past is something we must recognize. These are the people who we know to be the Mascogos of Mexico.
Mexico. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I love it.
Make sure you guys check it out, though, man. Check the channel out.
I love it. They are one of many groups that made it out of the country during the time of slavery. We just put out a video about the Maroons of the United States, and a lot of people don't know about the Maroons of the United States. And at the end of the video, we said that many of the Maroons, because we don't call them runaway slaves, okay? Because slaves is not our identity.
Right.
Although we have been taught that that was our identity in this country, that is not our identity. We were people, okay? So this was one of the groups we were talking about made it out, and their descendants are still alive to tell their stories. A lot of people don't know about this. Right. This is what I mean about history needs to be told as it happened, and not just anybody's old perspectives and narratives. We should have learned about this group in school. It's important. It's an important part of our history.
It was one-sided, though. I mean, when you tell one-sided stories, you don't get the gist of how everybody was truly impacted, or what they had to do or go through to get where they got to get, and how they impacted the lands when they finally made it there, and how the culture has built themselves up when they made it there. So a lot of that stuff is important, and I feel like people are in not everybody, but a lot of times people be in an ignorant mindset because they don't know the history of a different group. And when you don't know the history of a different group, you look at them as if whatever the world called them to be, you accept that instantly because you jump right over their whole storyline, and you don't get the pages of how things went down when they was going through what they was going through.
Right. And you gotta humanize history. You can't just speak from a point of being a savior, because that's how we were taught.
Yeah, facts.
And so that is why during school you'll have children feeling bad about their history. No. We were resilient
Not just
people.
that. They have children feeling bad about the history, and then you have the group of kids who feel left out from other groups because of how history has painted itself to look. Because when you're taught a certain way, you look at life differently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
That's why we got to take our biases out of schools.
Yeah,
take it out of the history books. Take it out of the everything. Like, just teach it how it happened from different perspectives. We have so many documents. Like at the end of the Maroon video, we put up a document, the real document of about what happened when they caught Saint Malou and all of that. The interrogation, all of that was in that document. That is a real document that we got from the archives. So all of this stuff is still here. Regardless if it's in the history book, we still have those documents of those times. We still have so much evidence of those times. Yeah,
the receipts, the written copies too, not the printed copies, the written copies.
Don't give us a paraphrase version.
Yeah.
Give it how it happened. I would have loved to see documents like that in
big
textbooks.
Facts. Big facts.
So this is a great history about the Mascogos. We would love to hear more about them. Just like I was saying, there's also people who were ex-slaves, former slaves. Their voice were recorded. Their stories were recorded. We have all of this history. This is what needs to be taught in schools. So we have loved to learn about the Mascogos when I was in school. So thank you guys for learning about them with us. All right. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.